The world was young, darkness lingered, fear ruled the hearts of early humans. Then from the heavens descended Biskurom. Bathed in celestial light, he arrived, a beacon of hope for lost humanity. He knew he had to guide them, to lead them from the darkness into the light of knowledge. Biskurom, with infinite patience, approached these primitive beings. They scattered, afraid of his radiant aura. He understood their fear, a fear born from the unknown. He sat by the fire they had ignited, its warmth a stark contrast to their cold fear. Slowly, cautiously, they approached, drawn by the warmth of his presence. He smiled, a universal symbol of peace. This simple act broke the first barrier of fear. They saw in his eyes a reflection of their own longing, a longing for understanding. He reached out, his touch gentle, reassuring. It was the beginning of a bond, a teacher-student relationship that would change the course of human history. Communication was rudimentary, a jumble of gestures and grunts. The celestial teacher recognized this as a fundamental barrier. He began by pointing at the sky, uttering the word sky. Then, pointing to the earth, he spoke earth. Repetition became his tool, his patience endless. At first they mimicked him like parrots, not truly understanding, but I persisted. He wove stories using his newfound language, tales of the celestial realms. Slowly, understanding dawned in their eyes. Words began to hold meaning, not just as sounds, but as symbols. It broke down the walls of isolation, allowing them to share their thoughts, their fears, their dreams. They began to use language not just to describe the world, but to shape it. Stories evolved into legends, passed down through generations. The world was no longer a silent movie, but a symphony of voices. Observing the world around them, Biskurom saw a fundamental challenge. Humans struggled to quantify, to understand the concept of more or less. They lived in a world where day and night were the only markers of time. There was no way to count the days, the seasons, or the animals they hunted. This, Biskurom knew, limited their ability to plan, to predict, to progress. He started with the simplest concept, 1. He picked up a stone. 1, he declared. He picked up another. 2. He repeated this with sticks, with berries, with the stars in the sky. It was a slow and arduous process. Their minds, accustomed to the concrete, struggled with the abstract. But I persevered. With time and relentless effort, the fog began to clear. The concept of numbers, initially alien and confusing, began to make sense. They could now count the days, track the seasons, and manage their resources more effectively. The introduction of mathematics was a turning point. Fire, a double-edged sword, both fascinated and terrified early humans. They huddled around it for warmth but lived in fear of its unpredictable nature. Biskurom recognized the need to master this powerful element. He showed them how to create fire, not through haphazard friction, but through controlled, repeatable methods. Initially they recoiled, their instincts screaming danger. The memory of wildfires leaving behind trails of devastation was deeply ingrained in their collective memory. But Biskurom, with gentle encouragement, showed them how to contain the flames. He taught them the art of building safe and sustainable fires. Mastering fire was a pivotal moment in human history. It brought warmth, light, and the ability to cook food, making it safer and tastier. Sickness plagued early humans. They were vulnerable to the elements, to predators, to diseases they didn't understand. Observing their suffering, I knew I had to share my knowledge of healing. Biskurom ventured into the wilderness with humans in tow, teaching them about the hidden properties of plants. He showed them which herbs soothed burns, which leaves eased fevers, which roots dulled pain. At first, they were skeptical. They relied on superstition and rituals to ward off illness. But Biskurom, with infinite patience, demonstrated the effectiveness of his methods. He treated their wounds, eased their pain, and nursed them back to health. The knowledge of herbal medicine spread like wildfire, bringing hope to their disease-ridden lives. They began to see the natural world with new eyes, not just as a source of food and danger, but also as a pharmacy bursting with remedies. They learned to respect the delicate balance of nature. With each life saved, the bond between Biskurom and his pupils grew stronger. As humans progressed, a darkness began to stir in their hearts. The knowledge Biskurom had imparted, intended for good, began to be twisted for personal gain. They began to hoard resources, exploiting the land and each other. Jealousy reared its ugly head. Biskurom watched, his heart heavy with disappointment as the seeds of discord took root. He tried to intervene, reminding them of the values he had tried to instill: compassion, cooperation, respect. But the allure of power, the intoxication of greed, had taken hold. My words, once revered, now fell on deaf ears.
You favor some over others? You withhold knowledge, you create division where none exists.
The unity Biskurom had so carefully nurtured began to crumble. The tools he had provided for progress were now used for conquest and control. He realized that knowledge, like fire, was a neutral force. It could illuminate the world or burn it to ashes, depending on the hands that wielded it. Disheartened but not defeated, Biskurom knew he had to shift his focus. He needed to equip them with something more powerful, a moral compass. He gathered them once more, his heart heavy but his resolve unwavering. He spoke of right and wrong, of justice and fairness, of compassion and empathy. He wove these principles into stories, into songs, into rituals. He taught them the importance of community, the strength in unity, the sanctity of life. His words, imbued with celestial wisdom, resonated in their hearts. They began to understand that true strength lay not in domination but in unity. The moral compass he provided became their guiding star. It was a beacon of hope in a world teetering on the edge of chaos. Time for Biskurom was but a fleeting illusion. He had witnessed their evolution, their triumphs, their failures. He knew his time among them was coming to an end. He had planted the seeds of civilization, and now it was time for those seeds to grow on their own. One starlit night, he gathered his pupils for the last time. They felt a sense of foreboding, an unspoken understanding that this was no ordinary gathering. He looked at them, his heart brimming with a bittersweet mixture of pride and sadness. As the first rays of dawn kissed the horizon, Biskurom vanished. There were no grand pronouncements, no fiery chariots descending from the heavens. He simply disappeared, as quietly and mysteriously as he had arrived. Some say he ascended back to the celestial realms, his task complete. Generations passed, empires rose and fell, wars were waged, and peace treaties signed. Through it all, the legacy of Biskurom endured. The knowledge he had imparted, passed down through generations, formed the bedrock of human civilization. The stories they told of the celestial teacher, though embellished and mythologized over time, served as a constant reminder of their humble beginnings and their extraordinary potential. His teachings, etched in the annals of time, continued to inspire, to guide, to challenge. They built cities, explored the seas, reached for the stars. Yet, for all their progress, they never forgot the lessons of Biskurom. The moral compass he had given them, though often ignored, continued to prick their conscience. The world, as we know it today, stands as a testament to Biskurom's enduring legacy. Every act of kindness, every step towards a more just society, is a tribute to the celestial teacher. The story of Biskurom is a timeless reminder of the transformative power of knowledge, the importance of a moral compass, and the enduring legacy of a teacher. It urges us to approach learning not just as a means to an end, but as an end in itself, a journey of self-discovery and growth. It reminds us that true progress encompasses not just material wealth, but also moral and spiritual enlightenment. In a world often driven by self-interest, Biskurom's tale serves as a beacon of hope, a call to action. It challenges us to use our knowledge for good, to be guided by our conscience, and to strive for a world where compassion triumphs over greed. Let us remember Biskurom, the forgotten teacher of humankind, not just with reverence but with action. Let us honor his legacy by embracing the transformative power of knowledge, by living a life guided by compassion and empathy, and by striving to make the world a little brighter, a little kinder, a little more just.